Today, I have a rant because it has occurred to me over the past couple of months. I've been observing a series of behaviors that I want to talk about. Now, this all began a couple of weeks ago. I had to take a behind the wheel driving test because a couple of years ago, some of you may not know, I got hit in the eye and I had to get a eye surgery. And so this would be my first time, renewing my license. And they wanted to make sure that my ass could see. So, I could see fine. So, I passed the test in that way. But what I barely passed was the driving part because the dude who was testing me, luckily he was a cool Latino dude. He was cool. And he's like, you, sister girl, you done developed some bad driving habits. And I looked at him. I'm like, what you talking about? And I drive just like everybody else. And he was just shaking his head. He's like, you can't be making them Hollywood stops. And, you turn and you just turn into any lane you want to turn into. You're supposed to turn into the leftmost lane. And, he just read my ass to riot act. And I just looked at him. I said, you obviously don't drive in the hood very often, do you? And he said, no. I said, that's why you think that that's how you're supposed to drive. So we had a good laugh about it. But it got me to thinking, where did I get all these wild driving habits from? And I figured it out. I developed them as like a survival tool because I have to drive through the hood of East Oakland all the time. And driving there is like playing Dodge car. If you can drive in the hood and you don't get hit and you don't hit nobody and you have a clean driving record year after year after year after year, that means your shit is on point. And that's me. So, after that little pussy ass driving test, I was talking about it with my daughter. She says, Mom, driving with you when you're driving in your car when we're in Oakland, it's like we're alive in that video game Five Nights at Freddy's where stuff's popping out of nowhere trying to kill you. And I was rolling because it's so true. That is exactly how it is in the hood. So, you think about it, it's like if you're a good video game player, you could probably do all right. Surviving. But what you cannot do is be some little wimpy ass like soccer driving, SUV wheeling, that kind of driver. You can't be like that. You got to be kind of aggressive because you drive like that, like you driving the soccer team, your ass is going to be roadkill. And really, if you're going to be driving in the hood, the best kind of car to have is a 10 to 30-year-old bucket. The older, the better, because that means the metal is heavy. And if somebody hits you, they're going to be real sorry. That's what that means. But, the bottom line in this rant is I want to share with you why my theory is that niggas can't drive for shit they can't drive. And you think about it, most of them have a suspended driver's license. They don't have no insurance. And a lot of them are in a stolen car on top of that. And they always want to be speed. They got to be speed. They got to be cutting in and out, running lights, running stop signs. They don't slow down for the cones. You got the little men over there working on the street, diving to the curb, trying to save their lives from these Negroes running out, driving all crazy. And I actually had this dude. It was like, okay, there's two lanes, right? There's like the parking lane and then there's the traffic lane. Do you know this fool was squeezing in between the parking lane and the lane of cars because his ass was in such a hurry that he just had to make it, and then he went around and made a U-turn in the middle of the street, people horns blazing, people jamming their brakes. Just driving like a maniac. That's normal. That's every day. That's, par for the course. But basically it's like, that when you look at how they drive, the disregard for the rules of the road is just mind-boggling. They do whatever the fuck they want to do when they behind the wheel. And if you have slow reflexes or you ain't paying attention, you take your life into your hands on a daily basis. Niggas also have their own special parking rules. I was like, they have, I swear, okay, I'm about to share some of the shit I've seen in the last couple of weeks. These rules, okay, now keep in mind, these are the nigger rules of parking in the hood. Okay, this ain't regular people's style of parking. This is niggas driving. Okay, now this rule requires, first of all, that you double park as often as possible and that you put your car in as most inconvenient of place as possible to inconvenience and irritate and aggravate as many people as you can. This is especially good if you know you live, we got a lot of little narrow streets in East and West Oakland, little lanes, like they're almost damn lanes, where really only one car, maybe two, could go down the street at the same time. Okay, well, you on the street where a bus goes up and down, them boys are wide. So here you go, you're going to double park so the bus can't get by, and then you're going to wait, take all your time to come sashaying out your house to grab, slowly get behind the wheel, waving at the bus driver like, man, it's all cool, it's all gravy. And, in the meantime, the bus driver's late, he going to get in trouble on his schedule. Everybody on the bus is late. You think niggas give a shit? I don't care. I don't care. The winner of the double parking contest is the one who double parked right by a parking space. They do that. They can't just take the time to pull into the spot. They have to pull across the spot because they didn't that much of a hurry, see. And niggas also had their own special driving rules. So you're driving, right? You going down the street, you in your lane, just going, speed limit, just, doing whatever. All of a sudden, somebody coming towards you on the other side hits their brakes and makes a U-turn right in front of you. Okay, so now you like standing on your brakes to keep from hitting the fool. And, then if you honk and look at, they gonna roll down the window, give you the finger, and look at you all crazy. Like what? Like what you gonna do about it? And, niggas are stupid, so you never know. They gonna pull out a gun, they gonna start shooting you. It's a good, go 19 niggas like it's a clown car, gonna jump out the car and want to try to, pull you out your car and beat you down. I mean, you don't know what, you know what I mean? People are crazy these days. So you just, deal with it, and they just, almost kill you, and you just go on to do what you're going to do. Heart racing, adrenaline pumping, but, at least you get there without bullet holes in you, so you just count it as a lucky day. Niggas also like to do what I call a pop out. This is a classic game. I think they try to figure out how many people they can make have a heart attack with the pop out. So it's like, have you ever played that video game called Halo? It's like that. Okay, because they niggas be popping out of driveways. They suddenly pop out of parking spaces and parking lots just as you driving by. They pop out the parking space right in front of you. They pop out the damn bushes practically. They just love to pop out in front of you and make you hit your brakes. That's the goal. Make you hit your brakes suddenly to see A, if you have the brakes, and B, how good your reflexes is, and C, if you have insurance. Because if you're driving a halfway decent car, then they notice you got some insurance, and so then they're going to lay out on the sidewalk and get some money. That's what that's all about. You should also know, if you have to drive in the hood, that stop signs, stop lights, yield signs, and all those kind of yield to oncoming traffic, all those kind of signs like that would give you like right of way and your turn and all that kind of stuff, those are considered suggestions by hood niggas. Those are merely suggestions. Those are not mandates. So they don't have to yield. They don't have to slow for the yellow light. They speed up for the yellow light. They don't have to stop for the red light. They just keep going. That's just it. Red, I mean, that means go faster in hood lingo. That's what that means. And then you be like me, you make what the driver called the what you call it, driver tester do, DMV tester called a Hollywood stop. Well, up here we call them Oaktown. Okay, so Hollywood, Oaktown, it's about the same length of time. That is how long you hit your brakes before you continue rolling on through the intersection. You have to do that because of the fact that if you're one of those people that wants to stop with your hand on 10 and 2 and look both ways and stop for the full, 10 seconds that they say in the handbook, your ass will be at that intersection for 2 weeks because nobody else is going to stop and let you go through. You're going to be sitting there, and everybody else is going to tap their brakes and roll out. See? So you kind of have to adopt a hood style of driving if you want to get anywhere. And honey, I'm good at that shit now. I get where I'm trying to go, get it all across town in 12 minutes because I know how to hood drive, and it's a remarkable skill. Now, the aspect that I really want to talk about is this. This is what I think is the whole sole purpose of nigga hood driving. Is to make you wait. They get off on that. They get off on making people wait. Just think about it. Now, in dating, right, they always showing up late. Everything, they come to work late. They show up late for the date. They call you hours after they're supposed to be there, or they say they're going to help you do something at, 10 o'clock, and then they might get around to, a couple of days later. And it's kind of like, it's like a power trip when you really think about it. It's like, it's like, is it that they don't have any power, so they try to get some in some little ridiculously kind of menial way? I mean, I don't know. I didn't really put a whole bunch of thought into it, but there has to be something there, because it happens too often with, it's just like, it's like a plan, it's like a plot. They want to make you wait. So let me talk about some of the ways they make you wait. Okay, this is good. Okay, everybody driving down the street, right? And like I said, a lot of these streets, it's like it's room for people to park on both sides, and then you could kind of squeeze two cars by. You're gonna have maybe 6-7 inches of clearance between the cars, on one side and the parked cars. It's not a whole bunch of space. So now imagine you got this kind of space, you barely could make it through, and here's somebody sitting there in the driver's seat with their driver's door wide the fuck open, listening to some music, or acting like they on the phone. It's just so urgent that it's so urgent they don't even have time to close their car door. They just had to take this call that second. That's what they do, right? So you have to, they essentially reduce the traffic to one lane, and so everybody has to wait for them, so they can take turns getting by this car with the door open. Okay, they make you wait. Or they want to drive through a crowded area, right, where people are pulling in to drop off and pick up folks. And it's essentially the lane where you pull in, and then there's the lane where the cars drive. Okay, well, see, you a nigga, you don't want to pull in. You just want to stop in the middle of the road and open all your car doors and let all the niggas out, like I said, like a clown car. Niggas just coming out from the underneath the carriage car, just continuously just coming out, and then everybody's piled up behind you because they can't get by because there's no room, because there's cars parked on one side and the other side is a wall. Okay, so they can't go nowhere. They have to wait for you to move your car. Oh, but do you move your car? Oh no. And not only that, then once everybody get out, now you couldn't have said your goodbyes while I was in the car. Oh no, now you got to run around and put on a big production of hugging everybody and having your long-winded goodbye conversation. So 10 minutes later, everybody's mad, honking the horn, and here go the niggas. Fuck you! Fuck you! What you gonna do? I'm saying goodbye to my cousin. You don't be keeping me. Okay, that's how they get. And they gotta laugh and talk, and they just be doing the most and making everybody, wait, and they just get off on that shit. They don't give a fuck if you trying to go to the doctor or to school or to work or to catch a plane. They don't care. All they care about is what they doing. Okay. Another way they do it is they drive slow as fuck. Okay, it's like to be like two speeds in the hood. Either you driving slow as fuck, like driving Miss Daisy, or you speeding like a bat out of hell. Okay, it's just two speeds. There's no in between. So when you drive slow as fuck, basically you tie up that lane so everybody has to go around you. And it's double points in when you see somebody that right? Niggas they know somebody, right? So here they go. They got to stop. They got to stop their car, lean out the window, and act like the bullshit they talking is the key conversation that's going to be, for world peace, to stop Korea, and, to make Trump resign, and all kind. This is the most important conversation in the world. They have to have it right now, and they have to have it in the middle of the goddamn street and block everybody else. They got to do it that way. That's how they got to do it. Another one that they do is they wait until the light changes, right? And people start going through the intersection. You start going through the intersection because you're going straight, right? And they was over there. And so they make a right turn right in front of you. Just as you get to the intersection, they decide at that instant that they can't sit at that intersection not one more second. They have to be in front of you. So they jet out in front of you and make you jam your brakes to keep from hitting them. Oh, that happens just on a daily basis. Another way they do it is, they go as slow as fuck down the street. And then when they see the lights getting ready to change, like you behind them right now, if they had sped up, you and them and 4 or 5 other cars could have made it through the light. But they going slow as fuck. And then when they see the light getting ready to change, they speed up and make it through the intersection. And you and everybody behind you get stuck at the light. Because this motherfucker just was, having his driving Miss Daisy moment. And, just wanted to set everybody else up to have to wait. They'd get off on, I'm telling you. And the other day, I saw this dude, right? Okay, it's a 2-lane street. We was in MacArthur Boulevard in East Oakland. I'm driving down MacArthur. This nignog gonna start doing like he's on like he's a highway patrolman. You know how they make those? They go like I forgot what they call it, but they like point the car and they go like weave to the side and weave to the side and weave to the side, like crossing all the lanes of traffic to slow down the whole highway, right? Like they do that across 4 or 5 lanes of traffic. They gives no fuck. But dude was doing like that, but across 2 lanes and doing it at a high speed, so it looked like his car is about to turn over any second. What are you doing? What? But it, essentially he got what he wanted, which was everybody had to slow down and wait while he stopped acting a fool because nobody wanted to, risk getting hit by his car, rolling on him or slamming into him when he lost control of the vehicle. Because he had to be going at least 40 miles, 50 miles an hour while he was doing this. He wasn't doing no slow pace. And he just didn't want anybody else to get in front of him, Now, understand this, too, that it's not only people that are driving that get in on this game. It's the pedestrians do the same shit. Now, I saw this dude. He was half naked. I think dude, was not all. He just not wrapped too tight. But dude, he had his pants. He was sagging, right? He was sagging, but he was sagging too much. His balls and his whole ass and everything was out. And he was in the intersection with his hair looking like it had been combed since 1970. And he's just, walking into the intersection and then jumping back on the curb and jumping out back on the, walking in the intersection, jumping back on the curb. And his nuts are swinging, his dick is swinging. And, it's like you don't know what to look at. It's like I was sitting there and I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, what am I seeing here? What am I supposed to be looking at? I'm seeing dick swinging, nuts swinging, a man whose hair hasn't been combed for years. And he looked crazy. And he's jumping into the street and jumping back on the curb. Why am I seeing this? What is wrong? What's wrong with it? Oh, I tell you. So, dude, I just wanted, because you don't know what you're supposed to do. Are you supposed to like laugh? Are you supposed to speed up and shoot around him when he's on his sidewalk moment? Are you supposed to roll down the window and say you should have said no to drugs, motherfucker? Or do you call 911 so they can take the dude up to John George because he's like obviously 5150? I mean, you don't know what to do, right? So everybody just sitting there, and then all the drivers, we looking at each other laughing because we don't know what the fuck to do. And this dude is just like hopping like a bunny rabbit with his dick and his nuts swinging onto the curb, onto the street, onto the curb, onto the street. I was like, wow. Then I ran into this dude, well, I didn't run into him like, that, but, he was coming towards us on his bike, right? He's coming towards us like he's like going to do a kamikaze or some shit, but he's on a bicycle and he weaving in between the cars and stuff. People are like honking and just like freaking out. They don't know what the fuck is he about to run into somebody's car. He's got to do a wheelie and roll over your car. I mean, what is this? What are you doing? But, so everybody, of course, hit their brakes and they wait for him to go by because once again, niggas want you to wait, and sometimes, that's really the best option. Or, you wait, they wait, right, until their light turns yellow, right? So, you anxious, right? You got somewhere to go. Your light's about to turn green. Oh, but soon as their light turns yellow, that's when the nigga decides it's time to cross the street. And these are big streets, okay? It's like 2 lanes, going each direction. And they gonna get out there and just sashay across the street like they are the man of steel. And it's even worse. It's even, when they old or they half crippled, are they using a walker or a cane, or they got a bad leg, they gimping because they got a gunshot wound, this kind of stuff. And they just gonna take all day. So by the time they get across, away from where you can go across the street, the light done change again. You stuck there. Oh my God. Or they see that, the traffic is stopped in the direction that you want to turn, you want to turn, right? This is back to the vehicles. Okay, so it's 2 lanes, right? You coming from the side street. The traffic where you want to turn, you trying to make a left turn, you want to go that way. Traffic is stopped. This is bumper to bumper. There's no space for you to pull in. The cars are stopped because there's a red light up ahead. Nobody can move. Does that mean that you stay behind the stop sign or light on your side, and so that other 2 lanes of traffic, the traffic's going, okay, say you want to turn and go north, so the traffic that's southbound can continue through the street? Oh, no, that's not what you do in the hood. What you do in the hood is pull out into the intersection and block the traffic that's going in southbound, because you need the people that's going northbound to see you so you could get in there, because you got to go too, and you need your turn and they need to let you in. So you just go gonna fuck up everybody. You know, ain't nobody going nowhere till you get in there, till you could go north too. That's how they do it. And then don't be right down the street. And this is, my final thing that I noticed. Well, it's not the final thing I noticed, but it's the final thing I want to talk about. Don't drive down the street in Oakland or probably any major city where it's a bus route. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go, even if you have to go out of your way, go some other way. You know why? Because if there's a bus coming, you're going to be faced with what I call pop-outs. Pop-outs going to be busting out between cars, underneath cars, over cars, out the bushes. I mean, they just going to be coming running down the street. You're not going to see where, it's like they materialize out of thin air from some other time warp zone or something. All of a sudden, niggas popping out from everywhere right in front of your car because they trying to catch that bus. So you be careful if you in an area where like that, because niggas don't see cars. All they see is buses. They probably can see some ass, and they'll see a dude selling some weed. But as far as your car coming with your right of way on the road, they don't care about that. They will run across 3 lanes of traffic to get to the bus to make sure they don't miss the bus. So you be careful with all that. So this is my rant for the day. I just want to talk about driving in the hood and surviving without an accident and without losing your life or killing somebody else, because this is a special skill, and if you have this hood driving skill, then you are the shit. That's all I got to say. That's my rant for the day. Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. And yes, I understand this doesn't have anything at all to do with dating, but I still want to talk about it anyway, so get over it and goodbye.